Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Big weekend, but aren't they all Olin Buchanan? They're always big weekend at Texas A&M.
They are. It is a big weekend, though. Anytime, I'm assuming that you are referencing baseball.
Everything. Baseball, softball, spring game. Tennis is going like here. Like we got it here. Like so much going on.
What's going on with tennis here?
Men's tennis.
Oh, men's tennis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women's tennis on the road.
But anytime
for the SEC.
you're talking about a baseball series between A&M and LSU, that's a big weekend.
Big weekend. Yeah.
And the roles are somewhat reversed
from last week.
From last year.
Oh, last
with
year.
LSU.
Yeah. Yeah. Because LSU. Now, I think at this point A&M was still worse off than LSU. At this point, I might be wrong because what is LSU? They got 6 wins in conference. Does that sound about right? And I forget at what where we were at this point with A&M. But regardless, yes, it's the exact same story. Except LSU ended up winning the national championship. A&M came oh so close. This year, A&M seems to be surging at the right time. LSU is searching for answers, but a team loaded offensively, loaded. I mean, the pitching too. Don't they lead the SEC in strikeouts? They're pretty darn good. They're just not winning games.
Yeah, I got to admit, I haven't done a complete deep dive on them, which is surprising because for obvious reasons. But I do know that they were ranked number one. Everybody's, hey, this is going to be probably your national championship team or at least College World Series, and maybe it still will be. But didn't they lose the series last week to Ole Miss?
Yeah,
and got beat by Bethune-Cookman. Midweek game, no big deal, but it's still Bethune-Cookman. And which, by the way, Bethune-Cookman's, they're actually pretty good. They've won a couple of midweek series over SEC teams.
Who else did they beat?
I'd have to go back and look, but I remember noticing it. And
what's their mascot?
You
usually know these kind of questions.
You know what? I have to admit, I do not know Bethune-Cookman.
But Reese Nygren does because he uses the internet.
The Wildcats.
Did you Google that? Or did
you know, that's to me, that's kind of sad. How many Wildcats are there out there?
A lot of Wildcats.
Yeah. Bethune-Cookman.
The movie Wildcats, though, underrated.
Was that the Goldie Hawn?
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Everybody
Woody
saying
Harrelson's
about a diamond ring, football. There was a little rap at the end of the movie.
I don't remember that part.
Oh.
I really don't remember a lot of the movie, except I remember Woody.
And I remember I liking it, but it probably sucked.
Yeah, it probably did.
It did. Who else watched the movie Wildcats with Goldie Hawn? Would like to hear from you.
I wonder if they play it on a loop like at Bethune-Cookman, the same way they do Rudy at Notre Dame.
There was a time on TNT that no matter what, Beastmaster would be on.
Beastmaster.
You never saw the Beastmaster?
No, I don't think I have.
Huh. You've probably seen a different variation of it. But the Beastmaster was a movie, like a He-Man looking character.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see you liking that movie.
Huh. I'm an eat master.
We'll get to that in about 20 minutes.
Yes, we will.
Hey, spring game.
Spring game.
Mixed emotions about spring game.
Well, explain your mixed emotions.
My mixed emotions are a couple things.
Okay.
I am excited to see young players.
Well, they would be mixed if there's a couple of things, right?
Yeah, this is true. I mixed them, though. I'm mixing the way I feel about it.
But if it's just one thing,
then it would. So
yeah, I'd agree.
Okay, I'm excited about seeing young players. I'm excited about seeing transfers.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited to see who produces something.
Right.
and it means nothing, but it could mean something.
Right.
All that. It means nothing, but it could mean something.
Sounds like the whole premise of the Seinfeld show.
Right?
The show about nothing. Yeah, look, I will say this. Typically, I have no interest in a spring game. I just don't want anybody to get hurt, right? We've talked about that.
Yep.
But in this transfer portal era that's never going away, I can see why there's more value in it than there used to be, because you do have so many, this melting pot of transfers and holdovers and things like that, and they need as many opportunities to play in a real setting as possible to gain some cohesion. Isn't that fair?
That is very fair.
I still don't know what I'm going to see.
Yeah, and if you, okay, this is what happens. Everyone's going to overreact.
Uh-huh.
Marcel throws an 85-yard touchdown. People go cray-cray. Marcel throws an interception. They go cray-cray the other way. Jamari Morrow has an incredible game. Tiger Wright, which I don't think Tiger Wright is playing. Am I right? Yeah. Look up the roster. I know that they posted who's not going to be playing, but you get my point. Mm-hmm. Somebody does something terrible. Somebody does something amazing. We're gonna read into it.
Yeah.
And I was right. Tiger's
I
not
always
playing.
say, yeah. And you know what? I heard Mike Elko doing I can't remember who it was the podcast interview with, but he said something like, "Hey, if we get a long pass, I'm excited about it, but then I'm worried about my defense. My defense, yeah. Right? So that's what I always say. You never know if it's what you're seeing is a mirage or an oasis.
I would expect the defense to be ahead of the offense at this point.
Okay, that's typically the case. You have more moving parts in an offense. I'll say this though: what if Richie Anderson or Houston Thomas catches a ball 10 or 15 yards downfield, shakes somebody, and runs for 40 yards? Then I'm going to go, wait. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that from a tight end. Yeah.
I would love to see a well-covered Isaiah Horton go up and get one of those 50-50 balls that we've been talking about.
Yep.
That we see it ourselves. And then you say, hey, I'm seeing these things that are supposed to be the difference. If Reuben Owens is held to 30 or 40 yards, and you feel like it's because the linebackers are not missing fits, they're filling gaps and making.
You're going to feel good about that.
Yeah. In fact, I might feel better about that than I would of seeing Reuben go for 200, right?
Right.
What else would we want to see?
I kind of want to see Brady Hart, Helam, and Kasuka do their thing.
Okay.
I want to see it. Right. Like, Hunter Shurtleff yesterday brought it up on the fan show. Like, let's not forget in 2011, Johnny got in there into the spring game before anybody knew who Johnny was. I mean, some people knew who he was. And he looked really good in that spring game. So a year and a half before he became the legend of Johnny football. So I'm not saying that's going to happen with those two gentlemen. My point is, I'd like to see what Helaman looks like. I'd like to see how Brady Hart has developed.
You mentioned what if how the reaction, the negative reaction, if Marcel throws an interception. But if it's a good play by the secondary, I might welcome that because I'm thinking, hey, I only saw one of these all of last year.
That's a good point.
By the secondary, if I see somebody come in and look like, hey, this guy might be a ball hawk.
Look, they've had scrimmages. They know what it's supposed to look like, the coaching staff, the players, right? Tomorrow is just an opportunity for us to kind of see it, a fan experience. Nobody gets hurt. Throw some touchdown passes, maybe a pick or two, some nice runs, and some stops, call it a day.
Yeah.
And early, by the way, they changed the game.
To 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Yeah, because rain's coming.
Yeah.
It's been a wet April.
It has been.
I guess.
April showers.
And they bring Mayflowers.
Yeah.
Who do Mayflowers bring?
Columbus?
Pilgrims.
Oh. It's TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It's the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. And where are we hanging out?
The Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
OB, let's do three things that we want to see this weekend. I don't care what sport. It could be softball. It could be tennis, men's, women's. It could be golf. You give me three things that you want to see.
Well, I'm going to focus. no offense, Tricia, but I put most of my attention on baseball. I want to see the softball team continue to roll, and KK, my favorite player, who if I saw her in person, I wouldn't know her, but KK, I hope she keeps hitting home runs. So that could be one, but I want to see. I'm very encouraged by what I think is a improvement in pitching. I mean, like we talked about, they only had to use 2 pitchers in both games against Texas.
That was great.
Hey, that is great. So I want to see continued progress in pitching, because if they continue to pitch well, they will continue to win with that lineup. And by the way, I want to see home runs.
Yeah.
By
the Aggies.
Yeah, by the Aggies. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought they went without saying.
This is TexAgs, so they probably understood.
I thought it went without saying, but yeah, it's a good point you made.
Texas hit a bunch of home runs last week.
Yeah, but if they hit them home, okay, here's what I want them to see.
With nobody on base.
Nobody on base. If you're giving up home runs, make them solo shots like they did last week.
Yeah. Here are 3 things I want to say. This one, I'm just going to say it. It's not going to count as one of my 3.
All right.
Health.
Okay.
I want health for it all.
So what you want to see is really what you don't want to see is somebody get injured.
Yeah, I just want to continued health.
Yes.
I want to see continued health. I'd like to see some young receivers make some plays in the spring game, all right? Aaron Gregory. So somebody just...
Well, that's going to happen.
And
Aaron Gregory, practice, right? Sometimes you see things, you go, okay, this is going to be a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying Aaron Gregory's going to be an all-conference guy or even a starter or even have 30 catches.
But maybe.
But they got something there with that young man.
How about another Marco Jones spring game appearance? Didn't he have like 6 sacks last year?
5 last year.
5, okay.
Which is...
I should have given him one more.
More than double or maybe that's double exactly what he had last year on the season. But he was behind...
Yeah, he was behind
Cassius.
So let's see another Marco Jones one. And I'm going to now switch to baseball.
All right, let's switch.
Obviously, I want to see a series win. We all do.
You're a switch hitter.
Shane Sadeo.
Well, you're going to baseball.
Yeah. Shane Sadeo starts the tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
5
quality innings.
Oh, and he's just going to limit him to 5. Okay. But
at least 5 quality innings.
High quality.
High quality.
Yeah.
I'm talking like less than 3 runs.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
I mean, is what I want to see. How about 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, and no runs? But realistically, let's go 5 1/3. Maybe 7 strikeouts and 2 or 3 earned runs while the A&M offense continues to do what the A&M offense does.
That's great, even though I think you'd be short changing him on strikeouts. That guy can get, get strikeouts.
I'm just giving him a number.
Okay.
Yeah, at least.
Shane, go double digits on
If he gives you 7 strikeouts but only gives with 3 runs and 5
I'll take that.
You're taking it all day.
Yeah.
Todo el día.
Who?
Todo el día.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go around the room.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
All day.
Oh, okay.
All day.
All day.
All day like Adrian Peterson.
All right.
Let's go around the room. He's got a great handshake.
Does he?
Oh, my God, the best. I met somebody the other day with an even firmer handshake. But yes, Adrian Peterson, one of the best handshakes in the world.
Well, he's an East Texas guy.
And he was on the show Entourage. That happened. You ever watch the show Entourage?
Yeah,
He was on one of
them.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah. Maybe I missed that one.
Yeah. Let's go around the room, left to right. Behind the glass, through the walls, and through the television. That's where we find Nick Savage. Nick, good morning.
I think I met that person with the firm handshake as
you
well,
did too?
David. Yeah, the masher. But anyways, I'm going to steal. I should have asked you. Yeah, I should have asked you before the show, David, because you are the end all be all. But I'm going to steal a topic you have for Billy because I want to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Who will we be talking about after Texas A&M spring game? That's a really interesting question. For me, I'm going to go Ray Coney. I'm excited to see him, and he is playing. I went and double-checked and made sure he was going to play after all. But if he can step in and be, play well next to Sanford, I'm going to be really excited about that linebacker group.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pull a Billy on a Billy question. I'm going to talk about one guy, but then talk about another and say, I would say this guy, but then I'm going to talk about, but really what I'm saying is this, and then you cover like everybody. So how about Tafiq Byard on the defensive side?
Okay.
You talked about that interception?
Yeah.
It's going to be Tafiq.
Okay.
All right? Or Tafiq. But it's going to be him. Okay?
Well, you know what? That'd be unique.
And you're so sleek.
Okay. Most people say I'm a geek.
Yeah. I have nothing to rhyme with that. I'm trying to find something. Help me.
Yeah, that would be
It'll give you a season sneak peek.
a sneak peek at Tafik.
I repeat, with a T. Anyway, where were we? Okay, Jordan Lockhart. We're going to stay with the linebackers. Lockhart is made for this. He's going to come and he's going to make some plays. I love that dude. And then offensively, I think you said it earlier. Richie Anderson is going to have one of those plays.
So it's going to be Richie? Okay.
Yeah, Richie's going to have one of those plays like, oh, okay. I see you, Nate Borkicher 2.0. I see you.
I think more like Jay Sternberger 2.0. Borkicher, I'm talking about somebody that's going to catch it and run with it afterwards. Did Borkicher ever do that?
I'm sure he did it once or twice.
I don't remember a play in which, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
But, I'll never forget Jay Sternberger carrying some poor soul from South Carolina about 30 yards downfield trying to make it. They're trying to make a tackle. I think we got, what I think we're going to see? I think we're going to see two tight ends, and again, Richie and Houston.
Yeah.
This year that are capable of catching the ball and then really doing something with it after they catch it.
By the way, this just caught my attention. Completely off topic, but this is a Friday, which is what we do. Dave and Edmund. I'm surprised he's texting so much. Can you name all the Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson movies together?
White Men Can't Jump.
Yep. Wildcats.
Wesley was in that one.
Yeah.
Okay. White Men Can't Jump.
Wildcats. Any more? Can you help us?
Play It to the Bone, Wildcats, and Money Train.
Money Train.
So White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So one good one. Hey, they're 1 for 3. They're
Money
1 for 4.
Train.
Money Train. I've never heard of that.
I've seen Money Train with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
That's what.
Wait,
Google,
no, that's Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker.
That's what Google gave me.
Huh.
Well, like I say, he went 1 for 4.
Yeah.
Or they went 1 for 4.
Let's check in with Reese Nygren at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, drinking his Catalyst. Good morning, sir.
I do have my Catalyst. Good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning.
It's a Friday. It's
Friday.
It's hard not to be excited.
We should hear that song on the other side.
Oh, God,
Olin's favorite song.
It doesn't sound like it's Olin's favorite song.
Lexi Mae Hudson used to play that every Friday. I'm like, oh, good Lord, somebody give me a razor so I can just slash my wrists.
You ever watch the movie Friday?
Friday?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's your kind of movie,
Yeah,
but I think you should watch it. Ice Cube, Chris Tucker.
No,
It's Friday and I got stuff to do.
Well, I mean, I would see movies with Ice Cube.
I just don't think that particular movie.
Yeah, right.
That particular. I know you've seen movies with Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Anaconda or Snakes on a Plane. Which one was he in?
Wasn't he in Boys in the Hood, or is that a different Ice?
Yes, one of the greatest movies of all time. Fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ricky. Sorry.
So
USC never really, their running game never really recovered from losing Ricky.
You've never watched this movie.
What was Ricky's last name?
Not Gibson.
It'll come to me. Go ahead.
So we do have some tennis updates, as y'all alluded to earlier, as the number 2 Texas A&M women's tennis team will face off against the number 14 Vanderbilt Commodores in the quarterfinal round of the SEC tournament from the Headington Family Tennis Center in Oklahoma. First serve set at noon Central Time. Mark Weaver's squad ended the regular season with a 21-4 record and will face off against the winner of number 3 Auburn and number 12 Florida if they do knock off the Vanderbilt Commodores. On the men's tennis side, they defeated Vanderbilt yesterday in the second round of the men's SEC tennis tournament from here in College Station. Coach Denton's squad will now turn their attention to the number 8 Oklahoma Sooners, who defeated the Aggies 4-1 in the regular season finale last Sunday.
Good stuff, Mr. Nygren. Ricky Baker.
So let me ask you, now you got to take it into context of when the movies were released. Which program had more difficulty recovering from a great loss?
USC losing Ricky Baker.
Or Florida State losing Lance Harbor?
I think Lance Harbor.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Lance Harbor.
All right.
You have no idea what we're talking about.
You know who Lance Harbor?
No.
You ever seen the movie Varsity Blues?
I have seen the movie.
Lance Harbor's the quarterback that wrecks his knee, and so he loses, he doesn't go to Florida State.
Have you ever watched the movie The Program?
Nope.
Have you ever watched Boys in the Hood?
No, I have not.
Okay. Have you watched? What's another
I'm just
one?
getting flamed here.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Football movies?
Football movies, yeah.
Any football movie? Or
Any Given Sunday? Al Pacino.
horrible movie.
No?
No.
What's another good football movie? Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights
That
was
was a
great.
good one.
Yeah.
Radio was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The program? No.
Reese, I just think we need to start asking them, like, have you ever seen, like, the Lego movie or
You
something?
guys did it
Do
yesterday
you
with
guys know who
clavicular
Tung Tung
and...
Sahur is?
What?
Do you guys know who Tung 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 Sahur is?
What the hell is he talking about?
Triple C?
Isn't that a guy from Star Wars? Tatooine?
Sounds like he stutters, or maybe his parents did when they named him. Your name's going to be Tung Sahur.
Tung 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 Sahur.
You guys, well, not you guys, but Cooper yesterday was talking about clavicular and lavicular and
Yeah.
like, you guys do it to us all the time too. Okay? You people.
Huh.
You look like a clavicular kind of guy.
A what kind of guy?
Clavicular.
Clavicular?
Yeah, he's one of those-
Olin
A look
does
smack,
frame
sir.
mog people. Olin does frame mog and look smacks.
You know what? We should come up with a term for making a face when you eat at 1775.
Okay.
Like when Harry Met Sally. I mean, it's amazing when you go to
They
1775.
flavor max.
Flavor Max.
Flavor Max.
Yeah. Where every taste just creates greatness.
Oh, especially that succulent brisket and the amazing pork ribs. I personally really enjoyed that jalapeno cheese sausage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a gastronomical delight.
Yeah.
And of course, the turkey,
Turkey's good.
which is what I should probably be eating more of. And then, but the problem is if I went there to get that turkey and try to save some calories, but I'm not going to be able to turn down the queso mac and cheese.
Nobody in the history of the world has. You know what? You want to take care of world problems? You bring some queso mac and cheese. Everybody be happy.
I think they would be.
Yeah.
The only problem is that happiness might only last from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then you have 4 more days to get all ornery again.
Yeah,
but at least they could look forward to the
But for 3 days,
for
the peace talks.
Peace talks, right?
Yeah.
Like a piece of brisket.
More than one piece, preferably.
Okay, pieces of brisket.
Yeah. 1775 txbbq.com is the website. You can call them up 979-492-6241. It is 1775.
And it's peaceful.
And good. Mm. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. Friday.
Okay.
It's Friday and we ain't got stuff to do.
I would say it's better than the Lexi Mae Hudson Friday song that she used to play.
Yeah, that's circa 1996, maybe?
Some whiny girl. That was before. Oh, this song is 96?
This is probably like 96-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday was a cult classic.
It's been like 30 years, and that's the first time I heard it.
Yeah, I don't really listen to that song myself. That's not one of Ice Cube's best songs.
Okay.
You know what I've been listening to recently? I told Nick this yesterday. I've been in a Keith Whitley kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, that hair.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love that hair? That's a great head of hair right there.
Yeah. Too
Over
bad,
there.
Too bad Lori Morgan drove him to drinking.
Was that who did it?
I think so, yeah. That was his
Good music,
ex-wife.
though.
Yeah, he was a great songwriter.
Don't close your eyes, Ob.
No, I never do.
Yeah. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And Yahoo does this thing called the All Juice Awards. Are you familiar?
All Juice Awards, okay.
Yeah. Now, to have the juice, you know what that means, right? Like the movie Juice, like, somebody who's got the power, the street cred, but they describe it a little differently.
I thought it might be, the guys that are most like O.J. Simpson, but go ahead.
It could be. This is what the article says, because it does have an Aggie on it. If you want a dictionary definition of what it means to have all the juice, it epitomizes the standard of effort, attitude, and performance. Display on the biggest stage with the ball in his hands, the biggest rags, the richest quarterback in college football, yada, yada, and it goes on. And
Is it quarterback? Just quarterback?
Well, no, it's not. But it goes, before we get to the team, a recap of this guy, Therese, from Yahoo, approach of when choosing the all-juice roster. The team is based on NFL talent, evaluators, coaching staff, feedback, choosing 2 players per shelf, building a 22-man team plus 1 priority free agent. The 1 extra player, shout out to an earlier edition of whatever. So this part. The one that they pick is...
Mario Craver.
No, it's somebody who was on the team last year.
Oh, okay. Casey Concepcion.
And it says, yet another portal maximizer. KC spent 2 seasons at NC State before transferring to A&M, catching 61 passes for 919 yards and 9 touchdowns. He can also be a lethal returner, was a first-team All-American as an all-purpose offensive player. He didn't run a 40-yard dash at the combine, but talent evaluators love his speed, especially against some NFL-level DBs. Dropped 7 passes last year, but he showed up at the combine, vowing to showcase his focus, impress teams with his drill work, and it continues to break it down. So, KC, and that's on the heels of KC dropping his players, is it called the Players Tribune, where at the end of it he says, did I stutter?
Yeah, I would have said posting. I would have tried to keep anything referring to drops away from Casey at this time. but yes, and it was very well done.
Well, I was happy to see that. I think he's going to be a first rounder next week.
Shireen sure
think
so, right? And if she says that, I'm gonna believe it. If she says that, I'm gonna believe it.
The other bit of news, I'm going to let Reese Nygren update us on the latest basketball portal addition to the Texas A&M basketball squad.
Yeah, yesterday Bucky McMillan got a commitment from Tennessee transfer Cade Phillips, the 6'9" forward, averaged 3.8 points, 4 rebounds, and a block per game before injuring his shoulder in December, kept him out for the rest of the year. Interesting note on Phillips, he holds a 13.7% offensive rebounding percentage, 21st all-time in the SEC, and would be the best in A&M history.
My goodness. Are they familiar with Anderson Garcia?
Higher than Anderson Garcia and Tyler
Well,
Davis.
yeah, but is that like a guy that hits 600 in the first, 3 weeks of a football season? I mean, a baseball season?
I mean, kind of, because he only did play 10 games before getting hurt.
It's a good start.
But still, it's a positive sign for a team that gets as many shots.
How big is he again?
6'9", 220.
We need his size. Now, he doesn't shoot the 3 ball, right?
No, he does not.
He doesn't shoot the 3 ball at all. So this won't be like Zach Clemens 2.0, right? Like this is a different style of player.
Okay. Well, he could get 6'9", 220 sounds a little bit thin to me. But I'm sure working with Darby Rich,
they
can bulk him up a little bit, because it sounds like he's going to be a post player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. All right. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. A little football on the other side.
All right.
Continue the football dialogue. Yeah, it's never a bad time. Insurance decisions shouldn't be made in a few minutes. You need people who are going to take time learning your situation. That's why I have the Rollo Insurance Group taking care of my insurance, and they can take care of yours as well. They build lasting relationships through education, helping you understand what you're buying, the why behind it, with expertise in just about everything from home to auto to business and specialty coverage. Their independent agents provide options tailored to your specific needs, and many clients discover better protective rates simply because they finally understand their options. Experience the difference at one of their 60-plus Texas locations. It is Rollo Insurance. Their headquarters on Highway 6 right here in College Station. Go to the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or 888-44-ROLLO.
Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever. And also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group. And they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em.
Is that KW?
It may be, yeah. I'm just saying that they could have done better, but okay. Yeah, that's Keith Whitley right there.
I would like to see you with his kind of hair. Perm it up. I would love to see OB with a perm.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, just try it.
No, it's not going to happen.
Do it for America.
It really is not going to happen. In fact, I'm probably in the not too distant future going to be, getting it all cut off.
You've got to keep it going. What are we talking about? Locks of love? We got to go.
Well, yeah, I could do that,
but you got to go longer though. Locks of love only counts if it goes past your shoulders.
But as we spoke, the young man's going to graduate.
Oh yeah, you want to look good for those pictures. Yeah. I actually shaved because I was at my son's soccer banquet the other night. I was like, I don't want to be in pictures. Remember,
I think you should get the. Here's what I think. I really think you should do this. I think you should bring the beard back.
Okay.
In fact, grow it about this far down.
Yeah.
And then I think you should only wear green army fatigues with a hat.
Yeah.
And have a cigar.
That's
Fidel.
I thought you were going Stolen Valor. I didn't think you were going Fidel. By the way, who's Fidel?
Who's Fidel?
Yeah, who's Fidel?
Fidel Castro.
So let me ask you a question, okay? You took the worst person in my country's history and associated him to me. So
that'd be a good.
Should I find the worst white guy from East Texas ever?
Oh, you're gonna put it down to East Texas?
Yeah, like the worst.
I might be him.
Yeah, you can't be yourself. Google worst guy ever from East Texas. I hope he's famous. All right, that's what you Fidel.
Who's the worst guy ever from East Texas? It might be me.
Is his last name Buchanan?
Google is telling me Clyde Thompson.
Tell me a little more about Clyde.
Is that the guy that
is historically known as the meanest man in Texas, was convicted in 1928 at age of 17 for murder, was sentenced to death 3 times, and killed 4 men.
Where's he from?
It doesn't even say. It just says from East Texas.
East Texas. Well, I mean, East Texas could mean Dallas.
It could. You know what?
What?
You're Nico Harrison. What is that Nico guy's name?
Nico Harrison.
Yeah, you're Nico Harrison.
He's from East Texas?
No, but just
is
because.
He a white guy?
No, he's from Dallas, and you like Dallas stuff.
Nico Harrison traded away Luka Doncic.
Yeah, that's who you are, okay? If I'm Fidel, you're Nico.
You can call me Lee Harvey.
All right, Jerry Jones. Lee Harvey. Lee Harvey Buchanan.
We were living in Dallas at the same
Lee
time.
Harvey Olin.
I was just 2.
Oh, my goodness. So,
Lee Harvey Buchanan.
All right, let's get the show back on track, shall we?
No, sir. I didn't shoot anybody.
Fidel.
No, sir.
It's like saying Donald Trump. Like it's
Fidel.
All right.
I'm from East Texas. He's
but
Fidel.
I'm not defending him. He's Fidel. He sucks. Spit on his grave. NCAA recommends something that we knew was coming, starting the football season in 2027 a week earlier. So now week 0 becomes week 1.
So we're going to be playing football in August.
Yeah.
All right, I'm for it.
That's what they're suggesting. Under the proposal, the regular season would begin on the Thursday of what is now called week 0 and still end on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Schools would have 14 weeks to schedule 12 games.
Why don't they just schedule 12 games in 13 weeks like they used to?
Well, I don't know if I have that bite here, but basically what Clark Lee said, with the 9-game SEC schedule, we do need that extra bye week.
Okay.
Because the bodies get beat up, OB. You don't want to have a hamstring injury.
Okay. All right.
So,
hey, you know what?
More football is good football.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same amount of games, but earlier football to me sounds better for our show.
I have to admit that I did enjoy the open weeks. One time I went to one of those open weeks. I went over to Lake Charles.
Yeah.
Went to the sports book, just bet on college football games all day and ate and drank and I played a few hands between. It was great.
Yeah.
I'd do that again.
Yeah.
Maybe you should come with me next time.
I think I went with Bird Dog one weekend hunting.
Okay, you went?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I did like a triathlon another weekend.
Of course.
I did my kind of stuff.
You did that. And that right there is the difference. He goes and does a triathlon, and I go to a casino and sit around and eat and drink and bet on games.
Degenerate versus guy who's going to die before him because he tries to do too much. Anyway, yeah, I like starting the season earlier.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And am I the only? I think I'm the only one in this building. I would like. In fact, I might be the only Aggie that wants this. I would like for A&M to play one international game.
Like ever or a season?
I don't know about a season. That would get a little exhausting. Maybe one every 5 years. Okay.
They played in Hawaii one time. I know that's not international.
That's part of the United States.
But yeah, I know. But I mean, that's a little bit.
That'd be fun.
Trip. In fact, we should ask Shireen about it because they didn't let her go.
What?
Well, it was the Eagle, and it was expensive, right? So they only sent one person, and the one guy they sent, Larry Bowen, was complaining about the food.
But like, what didn't TCU play in Scotland last year? Or I don't know.
I know some of them played like in Ireland.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, Notre Dame's obviously. Navy has.
Where would you want them to play? Where should A&M play this international game?
Well, I'm going to give you a couple options.
Okay, Havana. And all the fans go there dressed in green.
Stop. Okay. If Cuba's free, absolutely. But not until free, okay?
Who wants to pay?
And it could be free in a few weeks, right?
Yeah,
we hope.
We're hoping.
But Spain wouldn't be bad, okay?
I've never been to Spain, but I kind of like the music.
I like, I think England would be great. I went with the Texans to England. That was fantastic. To London. It was great.
Yeah, okay.
Would you want to do a...
Times have changed a little bit over there.
No, this is true. You can't tweet without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
What about Mexico? You in for Mexico? No? Where would you want to go? Every idea I have, he's shooting down with his face.
I didn't shoot any of them down.
His face is like...
The Bahamas.
Okay, I'm in.
Didn't they used to have a bowl game there?
The Bahama Bowl.
So the Bahamas.
Yeah.
For a game. Where else would be a good place?
You probably want to go to Canada.
Australia.
That flight might wipe me out, though. Isn't that like a 16-hour flight?
I don't know.
But if you could start the season
Isn't
early...
there going to be an NFL game in Australia? Because I made a joke about the Australian rules of football.
Yeah, there will be.
Oh, see? It's already happening. Okay. Where were they like football? Germany. They like football in Germany.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
I don't know.
France? No.
Not France. France. Like France would like football. I mean, there's contact. Somebody might hit me. C'est le soccer bleu. I can't surrender fast enough.
Our French audience is right now very upset with you. We have a huge fan base in France.
Soccer bleu.
Okay, but like, are you against, or you're? I mean, it's not even being discussed. I think
if it was in France, the officials, they would have to change their yellow flags and throw white ones.
All right. Heritage Films would not do a documentary on Fidel, but they would do one on Olin Buchanan, on his days in East Texas growing up, and then his moving to Dallas. Okay.
Actually, I lived in Dallas and moved to East Texas.
That's the reverse.
Yeah.
All right, see, that's why we need a Heritage Film, because I've heard these stories before, but I haven't memorized them, OB. I'd like to know. Did you have a nickname growing up?
Buck. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do people still call you Buck from East Texas?
Some do.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's part of what a Heritage Film could be. And we could find out about some of those touchdown passes that you threw in middle school. Did you throw for touchdown passes?
Yeah. Threw one to Mike Frosh against the Hawthorne Hornets. I can remember that one.
Okay, that could be part of it. Maybe we could talk about how you met Irma. That'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hanging
when
out
Quinn
in the bar.
was born, right?
Yeah, over there in Austin.
And watching him just become a great young man, physically fit and just smart and getting great jobs.
Actually, it'd be a better story than one on Quinn.
But the origin story starts with you, and that's what a Heritage Film could be.
All right, I'm for it.
So call up Chance McClain for a 2-hour documentary on yourself, not on Olin. He can do that himself. 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341, or yourheritagefilm.com. That's yourheritagefilm.com.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers Clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
Who's running the music today?
Did you say running or ruining? No, I don't know. I don't know who this is.
Keith Whitley was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was well done.
Hey, it's TexAgs Live. We are doing the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Can we give a couple shout outs?
Yeah, let's absolutely.
All right. So first shout out, Alan Cannon. I didn't know this, but apparently it was his birthday.
Oh,
either
happy
yesterday
birthday,
or today. AC, legendary A&M SID who retired, a year ago?
And yet he's
6
still
months ago? He's still there.
He's double dipping. Good job, AC.
Caleb is choosing the music. So Caleb, fired. Who else? Just kidding. Just wait till after the meeting.
Who else needs a shout out?
IDoc Mike.
IDoc Mike, happy. It was yesterday, I think.
IDoc Mike, happy birthday.
Mike, yeah.
He's the good doctor. Let's bank on something, Obi. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's bank.
All right. Bank on it. Presented by Vera Bank. Authentic relationship-based banking built for real life. Go see Joe Jackson and the team. Learn more at verabank.com. What are you banking on, Olin?
Yeah, I don't want to take the low-hanging fruit. Here's what I'm going to bank on. I'm banking on Chris Hakopian breaking out of this slump and having a big impact in a series victory, not just one game, but a victory of the series over LSU this week. I think Hakopian's due, and he's going to get it done at the box.
At the box, the Alex box.
Alex box.
Yeah, I think somebody on the YouTube page said the exact same thing.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so the people are on your page. I am going to bank on Shane Sadeo doing some great work tonight, setting the tone, winning game one of the series, and then Aiden Sims finishing it. I hope it's a sweep, but I don't ever predict sweeps.
No, never, especially on the road.
Yeah. Look, but by the way, I would not be surprised if A&M loses this series because it's a hard place to play on the road. But I like the way we're playing. I think they're trending in the wrong direction. We're trending in the right direction. So if you're going to win a series on the road at Alex Box, this is the weekend to do it.
I'm with you though. It's hard to win an SEC series regardless of where it is, but especially on the road. And it's at Alex Box, and I know they're struggling. That's a proud LSU program.
That team won a national championship not long ago. So
two.
And remember, you made the comparison to A&M baseball. At one point last year, A&M baseball figured it out, and they beat the team that ended up winning the national championship. Yeah. So
you know what? I would accept LSU winning this series if it meant that A&M then goes on to win the national championship.
You know what? Now that you mention it like that, if we could find out this week, and that's the deal we made.
If I had that crystal ball,
yeah,
I'd say yes, I will take that.
Yes, sir, I would take that. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Nygren, we've got about 3 minutes left in the segment. What do you got for us?
Yeah, we had a texter from Katie said, "Can you guys talk about our tight end room? Is that bad that we are not hearing anything about the room?"
I don't remember not hearing anything. I mean,
I think the tight end room is pretty good.
Yeah, I think I've done in the last week a couple of tight end interviews, right? Haven't I? I'm trying to think. I know I talked to Richie Anderson. I think I talked to Houston a little bit longer, but I talked to Mike O'Reilly this week too. Yeah, so I've talked to at least 3 of those guys, and no, we've talked about them.
I think texter from Katie. I'm sorry if the name was mentioned, I forgot. I think you're going to see a tight end room that has more ability to contribute at a higher level in the passing game, and we'll see about the blocking aspect. But as far as catching the ball and doing something with it, I really like what I've seen from Houston Thomas and Richie Anderson.
Well, we've seen Houston Thomas do it at Kyle.
Yes, we have, just in a different jersey.
Yeah. What else do you have for us, Mr. Nygren?
We also did have softball did move up tonight's contest against Mississippi State to 6 p.m., and they also moved Saturday's first pitch up to 11 a.m. Central to avoid potential inclement weather. Sunday's series finale will still stay at 1 p.m. All 3 games will air on SEC Network Plus.
And as a reminder, the spring game tomorrow, the maroon and white game, moved up to 11 a.m. What time are you getting there tomorrow, 10?
Yeah, 10. I'll probably be here at TexAgs about 9:30.
I'm embarrassed to say, do people tailgate for this? I don't know. Do they tailgate for this?
Some will.
Okay.
Some will. Well, maybe the threat of weather might dampen that.
Yeah.
Dampen wet. But some probably will. I've been to places before, not A&M necessarily, because I'm not looking for it, where I've noticed back in my other job when I had to cover spring games all over the country, I'd see people tailgating.
How far out are we from spring meetings?
Spring meetings, May 26th through 28th.
Okay. So we're pretty close to that.
In fact, I got a message from the office yesterday saying, "Hey, you guys coming?
Okay.
Need to know."
Oh, so it's due now already?
Yeah, they only invite a finite number.
Right.
And so if you're not coming, they need to know, because then they can extend that invitation elsewhere.
Obi, who has the first touchdown tomorrow?
First touchdown tomorrow is going to be scored by Mario Craver.
Okay. I'm going to go, because I can't pick him now. I'm going Aaron Gregory.
Really? I thought you were going to go Isaiah Horton.
That could be I don't know. I'm just in an Aaron Gregory kind of state of mind right now.
Okay.
It could be Zay. It could be all of them.
Zay?
Yeah, that's what his nickname is, Zay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Zay Horton. They call him Zay, I think.
Okay.
I think his teammates call him Zay.
Look,
Circle of Trust.
I'm an old guy. I'm not hip, so I didn't know.
What was the triple T? Is that what you said earlier?
Tung 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 sahur.
And it's not a person.
Nope.
It's a thing?
Yeah, it's a brain rot character. Italian brain rot, to be specific.
Why do you watch brain rot?
Pops up on my feed.
Isn't Italian and brain rot, isn't that kind of redundant?
It's TexAgs Live.
And we're back. I promise. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program. It is time for the baseball bunch. I think we're going to have Richard Zane on the phone here momentarily. But we got him. We got him on Zoom. Great. And on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. But in studio, Scott Clendenin and Ryan Brauninger. Gentlemen, hello.
Good morning.
What up?
I need to turn my headphone pack down.
Yeah. Okay. Please turn it down.
You're screaming in my ear.
Well, that's
I'm
going
to do the exact same thing because I'm going to go.
This is good radio.
It is good radio.
Richard, I hope the volume is good on your end. How are you, sir?
Yeah, it's great.
Golly.
I honestly know how high to turn up the volume in my ear, so I'm all right.
You're screaming too.
Yeah, that sounds like a you problem. Anyway,
Sounds like a user error.
Let's as we always do, start off with the state of the team. 8-1 in their last 9 games. Scott, you start us off. Peak of the season, trending in the right direction. It's would you have believed it 2 weeks ago that this is what they have done in the last few games? Just take it from there.
I think we were a little too much on the thermometer scale instead of the thermostat scale after Vandy. That was such a disappointing loss. But we also, as opposed to the general perception was, we did talk about how A&M could get on this run and what they could do. And once again, an offensive-led team is sustainable at this current point in time because you are getting some pitching and you have worked out the way to make your pitching maximize your opportunity for wins. And I think that was one of our topics when I was here after that Thursday night loss to Vanderbilt. And they've done that. I think that Brawny, brought up some of the things that they may do to attack opponents with the strengths of the pitching staff and how you could change that up a little bit. And I've seen those come to fruition. I think this offense is sustainable because it continues to do it. And, an LSU team probably doesn't want to see a hot hitting A&M team come to town.
Ronnie?
Yeah, overall state of the team, I think you'd have to be very excited and bullish on how it's looked over the last couple of weekends. But this league is fickle. Baseball in and of itself is fickle. So I will agree that this is one of the best offenses in college baseball. We can say that now. With the understanding that there is some, it's not out of the question that they go cold for a little bit. And then how do you win games when you're not scoring 8, 9, 10 runs every time you go out? So I think that's the question that remains to be seen. And it may happen this weekend in Baton Rouge. That's one thing that they can do is they are very talented on the mound. We'll get into breaking down LSU. But for right now, and I have to commend the leadership of this team for everybody was looking to shoot holes into this ball club. And we've talked about how 2025 sins were being held over the head of 2026. And this team just kept going. They blocked out all the noise. It got real loud after you lost to Vanderbilt on Thursday night. It got real loud. And since then, they have responded in a major, major way. That is a credit to the coaching staff, first of all, but it's also a credit to the kids on the team. Gavin Grahovic, most notably. He is the unquestioned leader of the offense. You'd throw Caden Sorrell in there too, but Gavin is the vocal leader, kind of the emotional leader of the offense, and look how he's playing. And the entire team, starting with him at the top of the order. Remember, there was a period where people were screaming from the rooftops that having Gavin Grahovic hit leadoff was bad coaching. It was bad coaching, and look where he's at right now. He's playing like a first-team All-American at the top of your order and the leader of this offense. So I have to commend Gavin for his role in getting this thing up and running, and now they believe what they are.
Yeah. Richard, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we're talking about the Thursday night loss to Vanderbilt and how we reacted and how we spoke about this club on that Friday morning. And, for myself, I know I'm a little bit more pessimistic by nature. So, no, to be honest with you, I'm not sure I saw this coming, although I knew they had the talent to pull something off like this. But if you go even further back to the weekend or to 2 weekends prior, right, and where we're at after Saturday against Georgia, they had scored 2 runs and just given up home run after home run to another offense that is among college baseball's elite. And since then, they've won 8 of 9 conference games, and they've put themselves in a position to not only for a chance to host in the postseason, but right now they're only a game and a half back in the SEC, or I guess a game after last night's Georgia loss in Fayetteville of the SEC lead. And that's, night and day from where I thought they would be just 2 weeks ago. And to Bronny's point, you got to credit the offense. That's who has been leading this charge. I know they could go cold at any moment just because that's baseball. You're kind of seeing that from Georgia right now, who I also think is one of those elite offenses. The thing for me, though, is we talked in 2022 about mashing the baseball and that being the way they won games as being unsustainable. I hope I have learned from that experience to not say that it's unsustainable for this club, because even though the pitching hasn't been great, it is improving over the last couple of weeks. I feel better about this pitching staff than I did the one in 2022 that took a team to the Final Four. So they've been playing good baseball, and now the challenge is to continue doing so outside of your home comfortable environment, because they're going into a hostile one this weekend and then a tough place to play in Florida next week.
Scott, I saw you nodding your head. You agree that you have more faith in this pitching staff than the 22?
I do. I think that you had some guys at certain points in time step forward, but I think we're seeing Gavin Lyons be a Jacob Polish type guy, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Who could be that kind of role, and Gavin Lyons has done it. And that's coming off a day where Gavin Lyons didn't get an out against Vander. And I was like, hey, that's baseball. He's going to have one of those nights. It's bad that it happened last night because we're doing the show the next morning, but I thought that he'd be able to come back, and he certainly has. And, but you have to have individual people step up. Now, also, I'm very excited to see what you're going to get from Weston Moss and the role that he has morphed into a reliever / to TBD starter in Game 3. So I think that the guy that was starting Game 3 in 2022 isn't at the level that you could see Weston Moss pitch at. So I think that's a positive thing. But I also think this offense is better than 2022.
No question. It ain't even close.
Yeah.
Yes. This offense is way closer to 24 than it is 22.
Yes, and that's why there was some surprise there. No one had seen Dylan Rock play at that level. Okay, so if you take the newcomer and the nucleus and the guy that's a team leader, well, we hadn't seen Partita do this, and we hadn't seen Jorian Wilson do this, and we hadn't seen Kellner do it. Well, now we have, and they're really doing the exact same thing that Dylan Rock did that year, which is arrive on the scene in SEC play and do it. Dewar is doing it. Hakopian is doing it. So those guys are showing now that it wasn't just non-conference. They're going to do it in the toughest league in the country and do it with numbers and do it with power.
And the exciting part about it is this offense can go to another level because Chris Hakopian hasn't done it the way we anticipate him doing it. And he is a bat, and I remain bullish on him. He can win you games, which turn around and win you series. He is that good. Like, he has got a streak of him going 12 for 20 with 5 homers in that streak. He's got it in there. And Jorian has that in there. Jorian can go on a run. And Richard and I have talked about this on B Team. It wouldn't be crazy to see Jorian get to like 16 or 17 home runs by the end of the year, because he could go through a 9-game spell where he hits 8 homers. That's the kind of juice that he's got. So as good as this offense has been, and I also think Boston Kellner can go to another level. He's getting on base like crazy. I'll take him every day of the week as my shortstop on my baseball team because he's a winner. But I think if you ask Boston, he'll be like, yeah, I could be better at the plate in terms of my batted ball. So that's the exciting part about this offense is I would like to see Chris Hakopian get going. I'd like to see them figure out the left field / DH thing. But that's going to require TK or Bendy or Wesley Jordan to step forward. But even with that, they're averaging 10 runs a game. This offense is unquestionably better than 2022.
But to the original question, do you have more faith in this pitching staff than the 22 staff? Because there were some dudes on that staff, but it took time for that to emerge, right?
But there was inconsistencies in the starting rotation.
Micah Dallas was the enigma that year.
Micah Dallas he was a different guy after Jordan Thompson made an incredible play to lead off a game in the SEC tournament against Florida. It was Wyatt Langford hit a ball on the first hitter of the game, and Jordan Thompson ran headlong into the wall and caught it. And from that moment on, Micah Dallas was a different guy through the end of the year.
Yes.
But up to that point, he had been real up and down.
After the relief appearance in Austin, he had not been the same pitcher from that point until that catch.
And Nathan Detmer fought inconsistencies that year. And, Scott compared Gavin Lyons to Jacob Polish. I would probably say Jacob Polish was much more consistent than Gavin Lyons has been up to this point in this season. But Clayton Freshcorn has been that guy.
Yep.
When you've handed the ball to Clayton Freshcorn, he has been incredibly good and very efficient. So there's elements to this team, and they're also better defensively.
Yes.
Look at the athletes that you have playing on the dirt and in the outfield, and it's unquestionably better than 2022.
And that blip that was Vanderbilt defensively that we sat here 2 weeks ago and said this is not going to be who they turn into the rest of the year, it's not. They went back to being that higher percentage fielding team.
Richard, do you think some lessons were learned last week against Texas with the home environment as they go on the road and they have to face a tough environment, probably the toughest they'll face this year on the road?
Well, the team's certainly telling you that, right? Mike Early took the moment last weekend to tell his team, now imagine yourself in the first base dugout, because that's what it's going to be like when we go into Baton Rouge. I hope the ball club's taken that to heart and listened to what the head coaches had to say. And I understand the merit to that conversation and that coaching from Early himself. However, I don't think anybody is going to experience what the Texas Longhorns had to experience in Bluebell Park last year. No disrespect to the Cajun country and Alex Box Stadium. I have been there before when LSU has been down. That was 2 years ago. They ended up taking a series from A&M. But that environment and that hostility and that loudness does not compare to what Texas had to deal with from the Aggies last weekend. Just hopefully A&M will have taken a piece and realized that this weekend, Baton Rouge is going to be way more hostile than it was up in Norman, Oklahoma, and definitely Columbia, Missouri early on in the year.
You guys agree about that? Just take what happened here, channel it in the right way on the road, and just block out the noise.
Yeah, you saw Texas from the very top. They were rattled. And I don't care what comes out of their media. They were rattled. And that's okay. That was a different atmosphere. And there were a lot of those very talented freshmen that they were running out of the bullpen, especially on Friday night, that had never seen anything close to that. And it's tough to prepare for. So just like Richard said, you're walking into a hostile place. But A&M, I think you can learn lessons from how Texas handled it. Texas brought their own water. What are we doing? If that doesn't scream paranoia and this isn't a normal routine for us, I don't know what does. But so I do think that you can learn from that if you're Michael Early and if you're the A&M ball club and the leadership. But, LSU's loud. It is loud in that place. I've played in the new Alex Box. It's not as loud as the old Alex Box. It's not as intimidating as the old Alex Box, but it is still loud and rowdy, especially when they are playing well. So, Nico Partita and Boston Kellner and Jorian Wilson, they'll have to adjust to that. And I think that, especially for Jorian, this is all new for him. Mm-hmm. So how does he handle being in that atmosphere? And he's been thrown in the grease now, the hottest of grease, especially you look at last weekend, and he's finding his way through it, right? But it is different. And I think, you can ask Gavin Grahovic how he took in Alex Box as a freshman. That was new to him.
Right.
Caden Sorrell, the same thing. They will tell you that was different. It's a tough place to play. So there is some major challenges. Again, I don't care what LSU's record says. This is a very challenging series because not only is it Alex Box Stadium, but now you've got an LSU team that's backed into a corner.
Scott, one of the things Coach Early said was, blocking out the noise, yes, but being pitch to pitch. How important is that, for young players, because we saw what happened with Texas, to just really focus on that pitch, that at-bat, as opposed to what happened before and what could happen later?
Well, I think that's what, he has preached, since he's been the hitting coach here. And I think that, he continues to, have that as, he's not changing his coaching style. He's not changing his philosophy. It's consistent all the time. And that's where you have to block it out. When they've had disappointments, okay, but you still have to compete. And you have to then, that's the one thing we had seen this year is they haven't taken anything that happened in the batter's box to the field. And if they can continue to do that, to stay on an even keel, then they're doing what the coach is asking them to. and you have got to stay away from falling into the trap that is Baton Rouge and treat it normal.
By the way, it can get toxic there.
Yeah.
They're on edge. They'll be there to pull for their ball club.
2 years ago, they were. They had been down. They had not had good crowds. A&M showed up, and it was like regular national championship Friday night LSU baseball. It started that Friday night and carried through that weekend.
It'll be like that tonight. But, and you cannot, I think maybe in the media, or maybe y'all asked Coach early on Thursday, like, how important is it to get off to a fast start? Yeah, it'd be great because the natives will get restless. When we saw it in football, that Saturday night where A&M cleared the place out. Remember, they had it with Brian Kelly. Like, when they've had it, their fill, they're out. So, yeah, you can turn that place toxic, but that can't be a goal. Like, that baseball doesn't.
Right.
You know, you got to go play the pitch and play the game. And if it happens like that, great. But they are going to be there and be rowdy if you can go, like, we were talking about it on B Team yesterday, Rich and I. If you can score 5 runs in the first 3 innings, you want that to happen. Don't bet on it. But if you could do that, it might start turning in there. We saw it in football.
Yep. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. Richard's on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll get to him here in a moment. Right now, if you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors, an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what really sets them apart is the 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The baseball bunch here. Bronny, LSU 6-9 in the SEC, swept by Ole Miss. They have not played well. Jay Johnson talked about they just haven't been able to sustain it. What have you seen in your kind of research on LSU of why they're not playing the kind of brand of baseball people expected?
They're very inconsistent. Offensively, you're looking at Curiel, Brown, and Aaron Beatty have led the line for them. Curiel has had a good year from an average standpoint, but the sock and the bat's not been there. Jake Brown has been awesome. Leads their team in homers by
15.
I think by 7 or 8 homers. And he was a guy that really flirted with the transfer portal going in last year, and even after winning a national championship. So he goes back to Baton Rouge and has been outstanding for LSU. But outside of that, man, a couple of things. When you go to the national championship finals, it hurts you in the transfer portal. Yes. They had to make some big decisions after winning the national championship about guys in the portal that they just whiffed on. Seth Darter, Zach York, Braden Simpson, the kid from Oregon State, Trent Caraway. They've just not been anything like they thought they were going to be coming out of the portal. That's one thing. It's really hurt them. But it's hard for me to blame Jay Johnson, who's one of the best coaches in the country. That is just the calendar. Like, all your focus on winning a national championship, everybody else is hosting visits and getting to know these kids and these players. And so they haven't gotten what they wanted out of the transfer portal players. And secondly, they are bad on defense, real bad. And they are not athletic. This is one of the least athletic LSU teams that I can remember. Aaron Beatty and Omar Cerna are their 2 catchers. They're 2 Houston area kids, extremely talented, good throwers. Aaron Beatty can hit the ball out of the ballpark. They really struggle catching the baseball. The ball goes to the backstop constantly. Balls in the air get dropped, and then extra bases extra 90 feet are allowed. They have really struggled defensively.
And that's why they showed up in college, actually. I mean, that was the question mark, could they receive? Because they had been high-profile guys for a long time, both of them. And you get those catchers back and forth. The other thing is, you still have to have some development of your freshmen. They have been so transfer portal and star heavy that they, some of their freshmen really
they're trying to solve some problems with some guys that haven't played a bunch. Eddie Yaman, the Braun kid is being moved around. These are all freshmen that came in that are kind of being thrust in the fire. But Jay Johnson, he's moving them around in different places to just try to find the best combination, and it's not worked so far.
Because Aaron Beatty didn't play a lot last year.
No.
And so now, here's your catcher behind the plate. It's not bad. I mean, 311 with, 9 home runs and 25 RBIs.
4 of those homers came in one game.
Yeah. But they're also, you got 25 RBIs on 9 homers, guys aren't getting on around you. And you can see that in their offense.
Richard's on his way right now to Baton Rouge. Richard, anything about LSU and their struggles jump out to you?
He might be in a bad spot.
Yeah. Well, how about we check in with Richard Zane here in a moment?
Richard, you must be in the sticks somewhere. We can't hear you.
All right.
I know how that bridge is.
I don't think he's that far out yet. I think he's probably in Caldwell.
Okay.
Well, if he's in Caldwell, he's going the wrong direction.
Okay. Well, I like to go the scenic route.
Now we can.
We hear you now. Yeah.
You were saying?
Anyways, no, I am not in Caldwell. I can hear you guys the entire time. I'm sorry. Anyways, offense and defensively, Bronny and Scott touched on it, but I was trying to say that the pitching staff at LSU is not a typical LSU staff where it always seems like they've got 1 or 2 guys. And even last year when they had Kate Anderson, and those guys aren't pitching professional baseball.
We tried. We definitely tried. Scotty, LSU does lead the nation in strikeout, though, right? Like, they strike fools out.
Yeah, they do. But I look at it, and to Zane's point, you don't have anybody above the line. I mean, when is the last time that they don't have 3 pitchers that are at least met the criteria of, to be above the line? As far as, we know we're going to run this guy out. They're going to give us 6-7 innings to go from where they were to here. That does not look like the typical pitching staff. Now, obviously, Schmidt has not made as many starts because of injury, and he's trying to come back from it. But I still just, for me to see nobody in that position, and I look over at A&M, who has had issues in starting pitching by all accounts, okay, and has gotten better, you got 4 guys that now have qualified with enough innings and enough appearances to be in that situation.
Well, there's another difference too, is that LSU is trotting out a lot more guys out of the bullpen than A&M is. It's a much deeper staff. Now,
but there hadn't been as much more success than A&M has.
Right. The one thing that LSU, they're striking a lot of guys out, but they're also putting a lot of people on base.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a recipe for disaster against this A&M offense. If you're going to put them on base for free, you are playing with fire, just like you are with just any offense in the country, but especially A&M that can impact the baseball the way that they do. So Scotty mentioned nobody being above the line. That's on the stat sheet. You're looking at a line above the stat sheet of qualified hitters and qualified pitchers that have had enough appearances or innings. They're above a line on the stat sheet. For LSU, Kason Evans tonight, Will Schmidt tomorrow. They have not pitched to their capabilities, but they are extremely talented. Extremely talented. Kason Evans, really up-tempo. Fastball is going to be 93 to 96. Those are really good changeup, some good arm side run to it. It's a full pitch mix. And look, A&M, I thought they did a fantastic job against Ruger Riojas last week, which it doesn't present the same, but in terms of strike thrower with a lot of different pitches, it is similar to Kason Evans. So I thought A&M did a nice job against Riojas. They can do it against Evans, but Evans, he's going to challenge you. Like it's good. And Will Schmidt is their most talented guy. He's from Baton Rouge. That's the guy they paid a ton of money to turn down the draft. So he shows up to LSU last year as a true freshman, doesn't have it. I think he was going through some injury stuff. And as Scotty said, he's making his way back this year. But it's a big arm. Like, they are talented. They will never not be talented in some area of their team. Like, I don't know that they're super talented defensively this year. It goes back to their transfer portal evaluations. But they are really talented on the mound. No questions asked. And you look at the top of their lineup and the top of their stat sheet on the hitting side, Derek Curiel is of the same talent tier and of the same prospect tier as Caden Sorrell.
Derek Curiel is hitting .450 over his last 10 games and 17 RBIs. And I saw that Jake Brown had, 4 home runs in his last 5 games. So those two guys are those are the dudes.
Yeah, they're and Aaron Beatty is as well.
And Scott, I don't know, I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I saw a quote from Jay Johnson saying they've had more comeback wins this year than any other year because they keep digging themselves in a hole.
They did it again on Tuesday night. I mean, this is a team that has been in that. So, yeah, you can sit there and, hey, we do have that ability. We do have some of that belief. But a lot of those, they're overmatching the people that they're coming back on. They a lot of those maybe they shouldn't have been behind. That's baseball.
They've got some, Tuesday nights now at this point in the year or whatever. They've got some head scratchers on Tuesday, and that's really impacted their overall RPI, and it's impacted their overall their win-loss record.
The same thing that A&M went through last year is what, when I talked about at the beginning of the year, how important Tuesdays were. Well, LSU is going through some of that.
Well, LSU has got to get it right on the weekends now because they've dug themselves such a big hole because of these Tuesday night losses. Their RPI's tanked.
So how desperate are they for this weekend?
They got to have it.
Because if they don't get this weekend, are they – I mean, they're still –
What's the rest of they got Mississippi State, I know.
At Mississippi State, South Carolina, at Georgia, Florida.
This is a desperate week.
They got to get it done this weekend and next. Because they're going to go on the road and they've got, it means the SEC. But they're looking at South Carolina going, we can sweep that series. Like, we can do that.
At home. Yes, at home.
We can. That's a huge weekend for them. They need all 3 of those. But if they are able to go 5-1 over their next 6 conference games, then they're 11-10.
They're still not guaranteed.
Well, they're 11-10 with the final 3 weekends. You feel pretty good about finding your way to 13, or they probably need 14 or 15 now because of their RPI. Yeah. But it's doable. But if you drop 2 out of 3 in your LSU this weekend and you go to, that'd be what, 7-11 in the league?
Yes.
You got a real uphill battle.
Going to Mississippi State. That is not a recipe for success.
All right. We're going to try to get Richard Zane on the phone. So if Brian Broadcasting can give him a shout, we'll get him on the other side. Right now we're talking about Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. Farms, homes, and wide open spaces. They got trails as well. They have a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Check it out. They're committed to maintaining and restoring that natural habitat. When you go there, you'll see all the animals you love, from the white-tailed deer, the songbirds, the rabbits, the turtles. Homeowners at Milliken Reserve sharing a legacy of conservation, which means generation after generation, you're coming back to that pristine Countryside Place, a great place to come together, relax, and reflect. 3 awesome neighborhoods when you go there, the Meadows, the Hollow, and the Creek. If you want to learn more, go to millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. We're back here on the Baseball Bunch on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We go back to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Richard Zane rejoining the Baseball Bunch with Scott and Bronny here in studio. Rich, I'll start off with you this segment. Sadeo going tonight. He's been much better. What have you seen from him? What do we need to see tonight from Shane Sadeo?
Well, first off, I want to set the record straight. I did not go anywhere near Caldwell. All right, I am about to get on 290 back from Highway 6. As far as Shane Sadeo goes, I thought he was much better considering, how he had been in his first 3 SEC starts. I thought he was much better against Texas. He was still a little bit unlucky, although the unluckiness kept the ball in the ballpark. We're talking about balls off the hands that fell in for flip singles and stuff like that, as opposed to misses over the middle of the plate that go over the wall. If Shane can continue to build off of what he did against the Longhorns this weekend, I still think he's got a great start or two left in him, and you're going to need it from him at some point this weekend, or at some point in the second half of the SEC schedule. And what better time than this weekend, tonight, get your team out off to a good start in front of a hostile crowd. And Shane's been a guy that in his past has fed off of hostile environments. I think about 2024 when he went into Oxford, and A&M really needed that start from him to salvage a game in a series finale. So I know Shane's got it in him. Just hopefully he can build off some confidence gleaned last Friday against Texas.
Scott, what have you seen from Shane?
I agree. I think that what he has done is he has taken that his best pitches and he has changed it up a little bit. I think that also goes to the coaches that you work fastball, you work changeup. I like the mix. I think we talked about it the other day that the plane at which A&M was pitching on, that's continued to change for all the pitchers, that they're doing something a little bit different. And, I think that also Shane carries, the attitude. And that's what I think he got back to a little bit was, I'm going to be myself again. And I think that his, his approach and his want got back to what we had seen before. And I think that, when you set the tone on Friday nights in a positive manner, even with the number of runs that Texas scored, I think that's a huge step in the right direction. I also like the fact that if you're going to set the tone now, and until you play Mississippi State, you're going to be, your routine. You're going to be that guy on Friday nights. You don't have to worry about Thursdays anymore for a while, and you can have your routine and feel comfortable with it. And I think that's another bonus for Sadeo and this pitching staff with Aiden Sims, who was by, what happened with the weather, pitching on that Friday against Vandy, for him to come back one day and then be the Saturday guy. I thought that worked well for him as well. So I think that this pitching staff and the starters are starting to see that consistency. And hey, I talked a long time about TBA, that A&M didn't have a TBA being a good thing. Not going to ignore it this week. What your bullpen does to give you a chance to start Weston Moss in Game 3 is the mirror image of what LSU is trying to do with Evans and Schmidt. Both of these teams are looking to have their bullpens give them an opportunity for somebody they want to start on Sunday to go on Sunday.
Bronny, the tactical decision with Weston Moss, we didn't see it come to its complete fruition, but I thought it was awesome, and we'll probably get an opportunity to see how it works out this weekend, whether considering the weather.
No, I think ideally it will work out like it did last weekend against Texas, where you have him available to start on Sunday. What I'm super interested in is what happens when you got to use him on Friday or Saturday. And if you fire that bullet, you need to win the game. And I've been very vocal about they brought Clayton Freshcorn in the 7th inning because they trust Clayton Freshcorn to get them to the end of the game. But I don't know that you are that aggressive with it against Texas if you don't have the insurance of Weston Moss being available in the bullpen that night as well. So it does allow you to be a little bit more aggressive with Freshcorn, who has come to the coaches and asked for the ball more and for longer periods of time. And let's not just gloss over what happened on Tuesday night with Luke Billings. If that's another right-hander down in the bullpen that can give you swing and miss stuff, you're asking a lot for a kid that threw 1 inning. But, I mean, it was really impressive. Like, Coach Early has said they think he is a future weekend type of starter, and the stuff showed now that he's healthy. And, far be it from me to question this freshman class right now. with the way that they've played, and you add another one to that, I think that Luke Billings can also give you a little bit more insurance in the bullpen, and it just gives you a little bit better feeling about getting to the end of games. So to Scotty's point about Shane, tonight is why you have Shane Sadeo as your Friday night starter. Regardless of stuff and outcome, he's pitched in the league. He's got the spine and the backbone to withstand not only the crowd, but also getting beat around. Like, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to be a Friday night guy in this league, especially if you're a Friday night guy that's gotten bloodied a little bit. Like, to just keep taking the ball and going out there and fearlessly throwing strikes and being okay with results, that gives your team something. Whereas, I'm not saying Aiden Sims couldn't do that. Aiden Sims has got the best stuff, but it's more than just stuff on Friday nights. Like, it's the mentality, it's the wherewithal, it's the toughness to be able to go out there and endure it and set the tone for everybody else. So I think Shane being the Friday night guy, I wouldn't change it unless you absolutely have to.
Offensively, and we'll start off with you, Bronny. Who is somebody this weekend that you have your eyes on? Like, okay, this sets up well for this player.
Caden Sorrell, they're right-handed to start. Their starters are right-handed, and so I think Caden Sorrell has been awesome, one of the best players to ever play here, and was off on a good weekend against Texas, and then didn't do a lot in the midweek, which I love when Sorrell doesn't do much in the midweek, because every time he doesn't do something, he's closer to really impacting the ball.
Right.
I'm very interested to see how Jorian Wilson handles this weekend, because they are right-handed, as I said, but they're right-handed and they can sink the ball. And they can throw the changeup, especially not with Case and Evans. Jorian is going to, the maturity of Jorian in the batter's box will continue to get tested. He's passed a lot of these tests, but he still hasn't seen some of this stuff enough before to be settled and comfortable with it. And lastly, again, another left-handed hitter. So I said Sorrell, Jorian, Jake Dewar. It's been a while since we've seen Jake Dewar have like these 4 or 5 hit games.
Right.
He's been great. He's been awesome. But we also know that he can rattle off like an 8 for 10 over the course of 10 at bats. So I'll be interested to watch all these left-handed hitters against the right-handed starters.
Scotty, anybody want to add?
What you get from Bear and what you get from Boston Kellner are the guys that are setting up the run that Gavin Grahovic is on, where I talked about, hey, they've got a guy with 9 home runs and 25 RBIs. The Aggies don't have the same thing because of the guys in front of him. And what's happening at 8 and 9 is huge. Because now, Bear Harrison is not getting hit as much and he's not walking as much because he's driving the baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a guy that can do both. And I think that his spot in the 8 and what they've got from Kellner in the 9 has been perfect for the age of baseball where your 1-2 are so big and so valuable, getting them more at-bats. It certainly helps the number of at-bats your 1-2 get with what you get production-wise in 8-9. So what if they can continue to do what they've done, that could be huge because, it's kind of funny. The middle of the lineup is 2 guys behind whoever starts an inning. And I think that is great for this team, that it doesn't just have to be here in 3, 4, 5. It can be anywhere if you start with guys on base in front of the power hitters on this team.
Richard, anybody want to add to that?
If Scott's going to take the table setters, I'll take the guy who's been driving them in. It doesn't really matter what arm the pitcher throws with when Gavin Grahovic's up at the plate. He's been matching for the last few weeks and really the entire year. Just seen the power numbers go up since SEC play began. Gavin Grahovic's the guy who's been in this environment before. He's a freshman when they played there in 24. But I also think about how he reacted last year after Caden Sorrell hit that game-winning home run in the rubber match between these 2 clubs. And it means something to Gavin Grahovic. So, just like last weekend where he didn't get to play against Texas in 25 and he came out guns blazing, I expect the same out of number 9 atop the A&M lineup this weekend.
All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back with more here on the Baseball Bunch. One final segment before Billy Liucci joins us right now. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. If you're looking for a selection that won't break the bank, check out Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They're stocking up on new vehicles all the time, and their inventory is growing daily. And the real deal is you're going to pay south of those big city prices, no dealer add-ons. What you see is what you pay. and their locally owned Aggie alumni team is ready to roll out the red carpet for you. When you go there, you're going to get great customer service and great value on every vehicle that you purchase there from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They have a pre-owned inventory that's moving fast, which means you get top dollar for your trade-in. So don't wait. These deals do not last forever. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Final segment of the baseball bunch before Billy Liucci joins us in studio. Bronny, I'm seeing A&M a lot more on social media. People talking about them. They're at least from a college baseball perspective.
Yeah. Oh, my mic's not on.
There you go.
My fault, Nick. My fault, Nick. Hand up. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people breaking. I'm glad that there's more college baseball available on YouTube, more podcasts talking about college baseball. It's my favorite sport. B Team has become unapologetically a college baseball show during the spring. We're going to talk college baseball all the time because I think that there's a dearth of it, and we, not your fault, but you just don't talk as much about it on this show as I think it deserves. So I'm going to hold some thoughts until after the weekend. See how A&M does. But it's been very interesting if you go around the college baseball podcast and listen to how people are talking about this preview. You can make an argument that A&M still disrespected, and people are still very much unaware of what A&M is. But let's wait till the end of the weekend, and we'll talk about it more.
Well, to that point, though, they're significantly better than what I think anybody thought, and we are past the midway point.
Sure, you are very correct, which makes how they're being discussed all the more interesting.
Well, and I also think that, this is, D1 baseball has them at 10. They're higher than that in some of the other polls. Florida made a huge leap in Baseball America. They went up to like number 4, number 5. Had a great week. They won a series against Georgia, and they beat Florida State. But they've been more up and down than any team in the country. So, I mean, you look at that. There is more eyeballs on college baseball. It's only going to get better. You got a work stoppage coming up. I've also heard that they may cut the draft again. If it goes to 15 rounds or 10 for some strange reason, college baseball gets the benefit of that. The SEC gets the benefit of that, and we'll even see a better product going forward. But as it applies to this team, okay, and let me make this perfectly clear, and I'll speak right into the camera. Anybody that hated on last year's team, tell me what the record with Gavin Grahovic and Caden Sorrell was.
Yes.
We jumped up and down here over and over and over again. We were called apologists. We were called, just buffeting for the program. This is what Gavin Grahovic and Sorrell do. And whoever it is, if you don't see that these two guys are the straws that stir the drink on this team, and they were last year as well, isn't paying attention. This is what they get. And this is why this team is as good as they are. It's because those guys lead at the top of the lineup and in the field every single game.
Hear, hear. America.
Do we not have Richard anymore?
Yeah, we still got Richard.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to ask him anything.
Well, I was going to actually ask all of you, and I'll start off with Richard. Just some keys to the weekend, Richard. Let's close it out with some keys to the weekend.
I think it begins and ends with starting pitching, as it always does, right? Shane Tadeo, can you set the tone again this weekend? Can you build on what you did against Texas? And then Aiden Sims, I thought he was good last weekend against Texas, but obviously the rain impacted his start and how deep into the ball game he could go. If he's not going to be impacted by weather, I like A&M's chances to save the bullpen even more on Saturday. But depending on how they set themselves up on Sunday, it's all going to result from what Tadeo and Sims do with taking the ball on Friday and Saturday. So I want to see 2 more starting pitching performances that are serviceable or even better. That's my key to a successful weekend in Baton Rouge.
Keep people off base when Curiel and Brown come up to plate. I think that's really important. LSU has some household names that have not just played up to their potential, but they can come and bite you. Monster Milam's one of them at shortstop. They're also dealing with some injuries. Chris Stanfield ran into a wall last week. He's got bruised ribs. I don't know that he was even listed as questionable. They've got a one pitcher that's supposed to be working his way back from injury. We'll see how much he goes this weekend, but he could upgrade their ceiling as a pitching staff as well. Even if he pitches, I can't imagine it's going to be anything extensive because they're working their way back. But how does A&M handle tonight, and what is the goal? Goal is to go get one, okay? Even losing this series in Baton Rouge keeps you on track as long as you don't get swept. Getting one in Baton Rouge keeps you on track for everything you want this year.
Control the strike zone against the team that strikes in it more people out than anybody in the country, and you're making steps in the right way. Swing at strikes and don't swing at balls.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Richard, safe travels, buddy. We'll talk to you when you get back. All right, that's going to do it for not the Go Hour, the baseball bunch. Go Hour was a long time ago. We don't talk a lot of college baseball in there. But when we come back here on TexAgs Live, we'll have Billy Liucci. We will talk football. We will talk baseball. We will talk basketball. We will talk track. We will talk tennis. That and more. It's TexAgs.
All right, we are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Billy should be joining us here for lunch with Liucci momentarily. We're going to find out what's on TexAgs today a little bit in a moment. But I saw this question from your boy David Edmond. He says, Nuño, let me derail the show again. And what are the best baseball movies? And there are a lot of really good baseball movies.
There are a lot of really good baseball movies.
So, like, Bull Durham, obviously in the mix, right?
That's on there.
Major League, got to be on there.
Got to be on there.
Right?
Field of Dreams.
For the Love of the Game.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams.
So you're at 4. There's a lot that I know we're missing.
The Rookie.
Okay.
Was Dennis Quaid, who's in every movie ever?
Yeah,
Ever.
ever.
He's in every movie.
He's everywhere.
Moneyball?
Moneyball, yeah. Even though some baseball people don't like Moneyball because they feel like it was, why are we making a movie about a team that didn't win the World Series? But what else is there?
There was a movie where somebody played like a psycho baseball fan. Was it Robert De Niro? He played a psycho baseball fan, and didn't he kidnap like the best player on the San Francisco Giants? Somebody fact check me on that.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Robert De Niro. Maybe it wasn't Robert De Niro, but there's like a
De Niro.
like he like kidnaps like. Was it Wesley Snipes? I don't know. I feel like we put Wesley Snipes in every movie.
The Fan.
The Fan. Who's in it?
Robert De Niro.
And who else?
Hang on.
Who plays the baseball player?
Let's open up IMDb and let's see who is on here.
That's the way you tap your hands as it opens up very slowly here.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes is the
Look at me
baseball
go.
player.
Look at me go.
Look at Nuño go.
Yeah, I don't recommend kidnapping people.
No.
For sports reasons.
Let's try not to kidnap Caden Sorrell or Gavin Grovak.
Let me give you the flip.
Okay.
The worst baseball movies.
Oof.
Fact check me here.
Wait, before we get into the worst ones, how did we forget The Sandlot?
Oh yeah,
for baseball
yeah,
movies, like
Sandlot.
we just kind of glossed over it.
All right.
Worst baseball.
We're talking baseball here, by the way. Worst movies. Mr. 3000, Bernie Mac. Come on. It can't be worse than that. I don't think I saw it, but I just know if Bernie Mac's in a baseball movie, it can't be good.
Yeah, I
don't think he's with us, so I feel bad for saying that. Is he not with us anymore?
I don't know.
Apologies. Thoughts and prayers. But I don't think that movie could have been good.
Yeah, there's a pretty, I wouldn't say it's like a bad baseball movie, but it's definitely a forgettable one called Trouble with the Curve. Shout out.
Is that Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood, where he's like some scout and he's like, I don't trust. Typical Clint Eastwood movie where he's old guy yelling at the clouds.
Does he fight anybody?
What? Yeah, he finds some like random peanut boy he's like a vendor at a baseball game, and all of a sudden he's really good. But it's a typical Clint Eastwood movie. Old man yells at clouds and then is correct.
Let's see. How about Major League 2 or 3? One of those had to be horrible.
Yeah, David Edmond literally just said Major League 2 is the worst baseball movie ever.
Rookie of the Year. Wasn't that a movie with a
kid? Henry Rowan Gardner, don't hate on Rookie of the Year.
You remember the name of the guy?
Yeah, I do, because I love that movie growing up. Do not hate on
Am I
Rookie
right,
of the
though?
Year.
Like, I think that movie came out when I was like 50, even though I'm not even 50 yet. I believe that movie is a kid who like hurts his arm,
it's a kid
has
who
surgery, has Tommy John surgery, and comes back as the greatest.
He can throw like 100, and then all of a sudden the Cubs are trying to win the NL pennant, and he forgets how to throw a baseball.
The Bench Warmers got to be on that list.
Oh, but it's a good movie, baseball movie wise. No.
Wait. What's the movie? I'm sure Nick watched this movie several times. The women's baseball movie.
The softball movie?
I think it was baseball. I don't think it was softball.
Oh, like women's.
I think it was women's baseball. Madonna was in it. Tom Hanks. There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball.
That movie was terrible.
All of a sudden,
A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own.
That's via Caleb at the Zone.
Okay. Did we like that movie?
I
haven't seen it. I don't know.
I don't know if Kurt Buchanan saying Bad News Bears is a good baseball movie or a bad baseball movie.
Cult classic movie.
David Edmond said, "How have they not said The Natural?"
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you why. The Natural.
42. Great. Kurt Buchanan. Shout out that was a great movie.
Here's why. The Natural. I saw that. I think it came out like in, I'm gonna say 83. I might be wrong. And I remember at the time being bored, and then watching it older, it's like, oh, that's a really good movie. But when I saw it when it came out, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it. I just kind of got bored.
It sounds like we should have listed The Natural number one. We had 4 people text in The Natural. How have they not said The Natural?
Yeah, it's a great movie. Fantastic movie.
Oh, right on cue.
I mean, actually,
very on cue. It's very good. The natural walking into the studio.
The natural Billy Liucci.
The show got hijacked, and we were just doing best and worst baseball movies.
What is your favorite and least favorite baseball movie, Billy Liucci?
He needs a mic. This will take a minute or two.
We'll give him a second.
Oh,
wow.
It's a weird mic. It's going to be a weird mic fit today.
Uh-oh.
Favorite and least favorite. I don't know. Give me some.
I said Mr. 3000's got to be the worst.
That's stupid. I wouldn't even watch that. I knew better. Like, there's certain movies, and I don't like the one with the stupid kid with the robotic arm.
Stop hating on Rookie of the Year.
Told you.
Why are we hating on Rookie of the
Angels.
Year?
I don't watch anything with Tony Danza, so Angels in the
You
Outfield.
didn't watch Who's the Boss?
Yeah, I did watch
Sam
that.
Malone?
I did
What
watch
was her
that.
name? What was the daughter's name?
It's not Sam Malone.
No, that's the guy from Cheers.
Yeah.
Alyssa Milano was great on that show.
She was. She was also great in the movie Fear. It was like she popped back up in the late 90s. You probably weren't allowed to watch that one. It's rough. Wahlberg and
I watched Scarface when I was 5.
It's like domestic violence. Or
I watched a cocaine gangster kill people in a shower. Of course I've watched
Well, I'm trying to think. I like what are the
Major
ones?
League 2 has got to be on the list.
Major League 1, not
Major League 1 was good.
Major League 1 was great. I mean, honestly, it's cliche, but I would say definitely Field of Dreams. Natural.
It's kind of boring when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie.
Not a big Wilford Brimley guy. The oatmeal commercials used to piss me off.
Cocoon? Great movie. What are you talking about?
No, it wasn't.
You're actually right.
Naked old people running around.
That's any gym ever. Sorry.
Not the ones I go to.
Kind of gym you go to.
I don't know what you're doing, but I would say, what's the one with Costner?
Field of
For the
Dreams.
Love of the Game.
No, Love of the Game.
That
I like
one's
that
fantastic.
One a lot. Yeah.
Bull Durham,
Bull
obviously.
Durham, yeah. Those are up there. I don't know. I'm sure I'm sleeping on one, but those are some of the best.
So we're going to talk college baseball on this show. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Aggie LSU series.
God, I'm half tempted to hop in the car with Zane and go. He's probably already left, knowing him.
And Caldwell.
Bit of a panicker. What? Caldwell?
I'm just kidding.
I was like, just going the wrong way.
Joke from the baseball bar. See?
No, I really wanted to get spring game though. I would rather be at A&M LSU baseball, but we have people coming in town this weekend for the spring game, so I'm gonna do that and watch a lot of baseball on TV, I guess, because this is a big time series. I've actually never been. I've been to a baseball game at the box. I've never been to an A&M series, A&M LSU, like where you could just go spend the week. I'm envious right now of people that get to go there this weekend. That is a monster series for both teams, right? And it's kind of like, it's not quite like the shoes on the other foot, because LSU came in here at number 2 last year. But last year the Aggies were at home and they were desperate. And this year LSU's at home and they're desperate. The difference is, when LSU came in here last year, Texas A&M was playing great baseball. I wouldn't say the same for LSU right now, although you know what their team looks like, and you look at their resume and getting to, what are they, 6-9 in the league? They've had some nice wins along the way. Like they're like that close to.
Don't let the record fool you.
No, exactly. Like if you win this series, it would be a massive feather in the cap for early in the Aggies. And look, if that game was here with the way this crowd would be, I would say I fully expect them to win the series. They're playing better baseball, and they've got momentum. But when you go in there, that is just like when a team comes to Blue Belt, that is a great equalizer. So the Aggies are going to have to go in there. I remember 2 years ago when this A&M team ended up rolling to the national title game. They went into Baton Rouge and lost 2 out of 3. In fact, they lost the first 2 and salvaged the Sunday game, if I'm not mistaken. So, and that LSU team wasn't great. They kind of rallied. That was the in between the championship teams. They had to rally, and they were one of the last teams in.
Right.
So, like, again, that was a desperate LSU team. Last year was a desperate A&M team. The last couple of years, the most desperate team has won at home. So the Aggies got to buck that trend. Also, keep the momentum rolling of owning LSU across the board in sports lately. So that would be nice to keep that that trend going as well. But for me, if they can win 2 out of 3 this weekend and come out of that at 11-6 in the SEC, having played, well, you count OU in there, but I'm really talking about having played Georgia, Texas, LSU. And you'll be feeling really, really good about not only hosting a regional, but you go another weekend deep into this thing where you're a very serious player for a top 8 national seed. And again, like this right here, win that series, your chances of going and winning in Gainesville go up exponentially. Yep. It's just that's the way baseball is, man.
Well, and I want to go back to that desperate comment too, because this weekend could really determine if they have a chance to make the tournament. Because if they don't get this, what was it? Is Mississippi State in 2 weeks? I believe it's coming up. Like in their last series against Florida, like they're at 6 wins right now.
Yeah, if they're 7-11 coming out of that, man, that's a lot of.
Because the cut line,
it's people a lot of ground to make up, man.
You win with 7, 8 more games.
You always almost have to look at SEC play. I think if you're a smart fan, barring some, if you have 2 weeks in a row where you're South Carolina, if you're South Carolina, Missouri at this point, if those are like 2 of your next 3 series, then fine. Then
they have South Carolina after us, I believe, right?
Yeah, so they have A&M, then they go to Mississippi State, then they host South Carolina. And then they're at Georgia, and then home against Florida.
Okay, so here's my take on this. Any team, including LSU, because LSU's good. Okay, they're not what they were last year. They're not what they were, with the Paul Skeens team that won it. But they're good, and they're just battling in this SEC. My issue here is if you're LSU, if you're A&M, if you're Florida, if you're Arkansas, whoever, you can almost look at your remaining schedule and say, how many games do you have? And go, there's 15 left, right? For most teams. Call yourself 7-8 or 8-7 and see where you're going to be. Because that's almost like, you can kind of land there. And so for LSU, if they drop 2 out of 3 this weekend, and they're 7-11 with those games that Reese just mentioned left, and it's 12 games left, and you go to get that number up to 14. And I don't think their non-conference resume is very impressive at all this year. They've lost some bad midweeks as well. So out of 12 games to get to 14, you're going to have to go 7-5, and that's just to get to 14 and 16.
And that's not a guarantee.
The teams he just mentioned, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi State, and then South Carolina, and you got to win 7 of those 12 just to get to 14 and 16, they'd be in big trouble. And so, yeah, they kind of really need to win this series. But look, A&M's trying now. All of a sudden, it shifted to you're fighting for a national top 8 seed. And I've seen it. Most people right now, every projection I've seen has had them either at 8 or 9.
Right.
Either way, man, you're right there on the cut line. So every weekend you can get through at a 2-1. I understand LSU's RPI. That's not, but just there's also a number in the SEC that you're shooting for, and I think the rest, because of the teams you still have to play, they got to play Mississippi State, they got to play Auburn, they got to play on the road at a red hot Ole Miss team. If you get to that number, they're hosting a top 8. So I'm not worried about all your damn metrics. You can miss me with that crap. I'm looking at just climbing the SEC ladder, and a 2-1 weekend does that, especially in Baton Rouge against LSU. And I don't care what the numbers do to your resume there. It'll just tell me that the Aggies are continuing to play outstanding baseball.
Not to steal a topic from last week, but again, the series doesn't come down to Friday night, but considering how last week worked out perfectly with not using Weston Moss on Friday and Shane giving you plenty. I think it's going to be the rinse and repeat for the next few weekends as long as they keep this kind of strategy.
Yeah, if Shane Sadeo can kind of build on, now I know it wasn't like a perfect outing against Texas, but he gave them what he needed. What did he go into the fifth?
About 5 innings, yeah.
Went through 5, right? You go into I think he went into the fifth.
Into the fifth,
or
correct.
into the sixth. Yeah, if he can start just go into the fifth and then and look, I think you're crazy if he could go further in the game. We know he can, and this might be a thing where he needed the Texas Longhorns. And again, the strikeout numbers have been there. You know, there's just been allowing home runs. He's been allowing 2-strike home runs and hits, but he's been missing bats for the most part. And then if this is just a thing where this guy hadn't pitched in so long, and he's just starting to maybe round into, you know, something similar to his old form, and that Texas game, the hope was that seeing Jim Schlossnagle and Max Wiener and Burnt Orange, because that dude's competitive as hell. He was competitive when he pitched for them. He's competitive when he's pitching for Mike Early. He was competitive when they told them to go stick it where the sun don't shine, when they tried to recruit him to Austin upon leaving. And Shane Sadeo was one of the loudest voices to say not no, but hell no. Maybe that game last Friday could, and I know we've seen him pitch better than that, but that game could be a turning point, like kind of a launching pad for him the rest of the season. That would be amazing, because if they could get that with the way Sims is pitching, and then have that flexibility with Weston Moss and your Sunday, all of a sudden, I think the outlook of this team in terms of the postseason changes tremendously. Because right now you're still in that mode where you're still like, okay, they're one of the best hitting teams in college baseball, and they're going to have to do that. That's why I really wanted to see these red hot bats against Volantis on Sunday. I wanted to see that. And it was a great setup for A&M, because not to say there's a no-lose situation. I mean, first of all, you wanted the sweep and to send them home in absolute misery and return the favor and get this crowd going to an 11 on a Sunday. But the reality is there wasn't a lot to lose. You had won the series. We've been on both sides of this. Everybody has that discussion. But, man, if you could have gone out on Sunday and knocked Volantis out of the game in 3, 4, 5 innings and won that thing, how much it's the one way I think I would have felt even better about this team, because I want to see the bats against that type of pitching. I think you'll see it tonight against LSU's ace that came in here, if I'm not mistaken, last year. I believe he pitched against A&M on Sunday and really held them in check, and the Aggies won that game late behind Sorrell, but that was like a 2-1 or 3-2, 3-1 type of game. But the starting pitcher from Houston, who was a freshman last year, came in here and looked really, really good. But look, Aggies and LSU have played. They played 4 times last year. They were 4 terrific baseball games. The Aggies won 2 here. LSU won 1. That was also a tight one. And then in the SEC tournament was the game with Jace, and that was a really dramatic final at-bat game in Hoover. So they had some classics last season, and I wouldn't expect anything less this season.
Yeah, last year when they played here, it was 3-1 in game 1. They lost game 2, 2-1. Then they won game 3, 6-4, and then in Hoover it was 4-3 loss.
Yeah, I mean, just 4 absolute battles. And again, I think did you check on my I know I'm right on that. The starter tonight pitched Sunday against A&M here and threw really well.
All right, we'll hit a break and we'll come back with a little bit more. Right now we're talking about Guaranty Bank and Trust, established in 1913, so they got over 100 years of experience serving Texans, and they're one of the most respected community banks. Their market president, Brandon Sears, is an Aggie. He loves Aggie athletics. You should go talk to him about Aggie sports or just your banking life. 3 convenient locations in the Brazos County. You've got the 3 in College Station, and Bryan, obviously. They are your community bank. 33 locations across Texas, from Dallas to Houston to Central Texas to East Texas. And as I mentioned right here in Bryan College Station, they support financial education, home ownership, local business, and nonprofit efforts right here in their communities, and want to help you grow stronger with every decision that you make that when it comes to your finances. Known for their exceptional relationship-focused banking. So whether you're buying a home or running a business or beginning your financial journey, they're going to walk you through each step of the way. Remember, they are a community bank. They want to be here for you. When you go into one of their branches, you're going to feel like you're talking to good friends. It is Guarantee Bank and Trust, the website, gnty.com. Guarantee Bank and Trust, a division of Glacier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Got a little short segment here because we went a little bit long in the first segment. So we'll talk some more college baseball here on the program. Adding up the math, 18 of our 60 segments this week have been about college baseball. So maybe we can make it 19.
Would Bronny get on you today? You didn't think there's enough baseball talk?
A couple of times this week, actually.
Sometimes if you let him, he drifts into this world where he thinks he's the owner and decision maker of the company. And then he also will, there's passive aggressive and there's just aggressive. He'll aggressively try to push his agenda.
No shade, though.
He's probably, I think it's crazy for him to say that. I saw somebody say that about my podcast this week. I said, we spent the first 20 minutes talking about the A&M Texas series in baseball. You said 60% of the segments have been baseball?
No. A third.
Yeah, I'm sorry. A third.
Yeah.
It was 18 out of 60.
Yeah.
That doesn't also account for the fact that you're generally not talking baseball with Olin.
Right. We do the first segment of the show typically.
So then there's 3 segments of Olin that's not going to be baseball. And you do that on purpose, too, because you're saving it for whether it's Bronny or Zane or Kendall or me.
Coach Early.
And obviously Coach Early. So there's there's minimum of 4 different people opining each week on baseball, including the head coach, twice?
Yeah, and former players.
So, and by the way, it's a crazy statement knowing how much Richard and I love the sport and love Aggie baseball, much less the sport. Hell, I watched a whole Dodgers-Mets game the other night.
Why?
That I don't know why. Oh, because Ohtani was pitching.
But
anyway,
to pivot,
you take away 3 segments a day out of Olin, so you've eliminated 12. So now you're down to 48. So now you're at 16 of 48. So you are at.
We got Coach
third.
Ford. We got Coach Henry.
Now you're at exactly a third.
We got Coach Weaver. But I want to pivot from that because something that did come
It's
up.
a wild accusation.
Something that came up that I brought it up because I'm just thinking about the pipeline that we continue to see. So the young players that have really shined this year. Nico was in studio.
Yeah. By the way, how about all the I think we've had
interviews.
pretty much every player over about a 3-week span throughout.
It's been great. No, Bronny and Kaylee have done a great job with that. But the youth movement that we continue to see, that we saw the year that 22 when Dylan Rock came here, and it was Jace's freshman year, and then the next year with Gavin and Caden, and then this year's group. It is a nice pipeline to keep this program, hopefully in that same area, being a national seed every year.
Well, it's starting to feel like an assembly line of first round talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see Jace, you bring Braden in. So via the portal, they might add 2 first round. I know he hasn't been hitting well lately, but don't kid yourself about Hakopian. And maybe this is the weekend he refines it. And by the way, that's the massive jump that you think this lineup doesn't need it. Wait till that dude starts hitting like we know he can, and like he's hit his whole career. Wait till that starts happening. When he goes on a streak of about 4 weeks in a row being red hot. So, but you go Braden, Hakopian, and then you got Jace, and then Gavin and Sorrell in the same class, and now, like you said, Nico, Jorian, Boston Kellner's had a really impressive freshman season. They're starting to assemble a pipeline, and with wins like this past weekend, and I told somebody, said, did Mike Early save his job this past weekend? I go, no. No one was threatening his job. Trev Albert certainly wasn't. Mike Early, they've had a great season. Period. It's not just those 2 games.
Are they a game and a half out of first? Is that what it is?
Now, I understood if you want to make this scenario where he went and got swept this past weekend by Texas and was 0-6 against Slosh, but that was just a made-up what-if hypothetical.
Right.
That didn't, in fact, the exact opposite happened, but more than likely it was going to be 2-1, 1-2 either way, and either way A&M was still going to be very much in the thick of a postseason host, and now as it stands, they're kind of on that host national top 8, so it couldn't have been better, but they've had a great season so far, wire to wire. And they only just now got ranked as high as they were because it's been like a slow build.
Right.
To come from like the very back of the top 25. And it's been a slow build. There hadn't been any I would think it'd be fair to say there weren't any emphatic statements until this weekend. But now they've won what? 8 of 9, Reese? In the SEC?
Yes, 8 of 9 in the SEC.
Anytime you're 8-1 in any 9 in the SEC, but when 5 of those games come against Vandy and Texas, it's significant. And one of them against Georgia. So to me, you're 1 against Georgia, 2 against Vandy, 2 against 5 of those 8 wins are really impressive victories. And I know Vandy's not at the top, but we know what that program is, and they're going to be a postseason team. So, man, look, I said it the other day. You've won series, not games. It's been 1 calendar year, almost exactly. And in 1 year, I think they're 21-17 or 22-17 in their last 30, 38, 39 SEC games. Okay, that's you're above 500 in this league over a season and a half. That's a really impressive record right there. That's a regional host record, right? But you've won series against Tennessee in Knoxville, Arkansas in Fayetteville, 2-0 against Texas here, and we talked about winning the series against LSU. And you went 2-1 in Hoover, where you beat Mississippi State and then a really good Auburn team, and then lost a close one, extras to LSU. I think that was extras, wasn't it?
9 innings.
9 innings. They lost in the 9th.
Yeah, they lost in the 9th, 4-3.
5 weekends, I think, of elite SEC baseball. 4 series wins against teams ranked 1 or 2. This started a year ago when they finally regrouped from the haymakers they took early in that season during that transition and the injuries.
Yep.
I mean, look at how Gavin's playing and look at how Caden's playing. Are those there? I'll be conservative and say it's 2 of the top 10 players in the SEC.
Yep.
Fair statement. Absolutely 2 of the top 10 position players you can't even argue that. You had one of them for a week and he was done. And you had Sorrell for half the season. And then, by the way, didn't have him at the very end when maybe he does get you by LSU in that game and you have a chance to get into that tournament. They've been playing outstanding baseball, anywhere from really good to outstanding, for over a year now.
Yeah.
And Mike Early's been here a year and a half. He got it turned around last year. It went largely unnoticed if you wanted to not notice it because of the Missouri series. And shame on them for getting swept in that series.
Yeah.
That was really bad, and you left yourself no margin for error, so it cost you your season. But if you're just saying, when did the ship get righted, it damn sure wasn't this past weekend against Texas. It started in Knoxville a day after they got run ruled and no hit. That was rock bottom. They picked up the pieces, and they've been playing at like I said, a regional host level since. And I think when you say that, you may as well say they've been playing at a top 15 level since then.
Yeah.
And they're still building toward. I know there's a lot of room for improvement. But as you look at this team, I think what this past weekend and these past 2 weekends have done is tell you, even with their shortcomings or flaws, they can make noise in the postseason.
Yeah. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. A little spring football talk on the other side.
Hope that was good enough for Brauninger.
As a reminder, the final segment of the program's coming up at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza. They've been serving Aggie land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, your world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. And we're back here on TexAgs Live. What happened?
I wasn't ready for you to be back.
Oh, well, Aggies gather at the Angry Elephant. That's usually my intro to coming back here on the program. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, and Reese Nygren gathers at the Angry Elephant. Reese, people talking Coach Elko, huh?
Yeah, so the next round did their ranking of SEC football head coaches, and they had Mike Elko coming in at number 5. In order in front of him, Kirby Smart at number 1, Kalen DeBoer at number 2, Steve Sarkisian at number 3, and Lane Kiffin at number 4.
I don't mind that ranking. I think Kalen DeBoer's arrow feels like it's pointing down.
Ranking, yeah, I'd almost want those to have arrows. Elko's an arrow up, and DeBoer's an arrow down. And I think Kirby and Sark are arrow similar. Kiffin, arrow similar. So here's my thing with Lane. So the hard part with Elko is this. He's been a head coach for 4 years. He's been at Duke for 2 of those 4, and then he came to A&M for 2. If you look at resume, okay, first of all, let's just say this. Kirby Smart's number 1. Anyone that puts together a list that doesn't have him at number 1 in this league is a dumbass. He's number 1 over his resume, body of work, and he's number 1 over right now. Okay, even though, yes, I think Georgia has taken a slight step back towards the pack. Maybe it's a significant step. It still doesn't mean they're not at the top of the pack, but there was a significant gap between them and everyone else except Bama. But even that Bama thing started to grow 2 years ago, even though DeBoer DeBoer's beaten them twice, right?
Yeah. But trounced in
the SEC title game. Yeah. So, but here's the thing. To me, if you look, Kirby, resume, they still been to the playoffs the last 2 years. They've still won the SEC title the last 2 years. They're just not, they haven't been national championship caliber the last 2 years. And they might be that caliber. They just didn't do anything in the playoff. Kirby's number 1. Okay, done. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think Kalen DeBoer is up there.
Based on what he did at Washington?
Only because of what he did at Washington.
So in the
what he's done at Alabama, he went to 2 playoffs. I do think, they didn't go the first year.
Yeah.
But did he miss it at 10-2 or 9-3?
I think it was 9-3.
9-3 because they lost to Vandy.
Oklahoma.
They lost to Vandy, OU.
Yeah.
And
they won 9 games that year.
Yeah, I think they did too.
They did.
Oh, Florida State.
Yeah.
They got smoked by Florida State. So yeah, that was
last year. No, so that was they went 9-3 2 years ago. Is
Yes.
what I thought you were talking about. Florida State was last year.
Yeah, and they lost 3 this year. 2. They went to the playoffs.
Yeah, they lost 2 this year, and then they lost
Georgia
in the playoffs in their second game.
I'm confused on my Alabama, but yeah, so two years in a row where
they lost to Vanderbilt and Tennessee
and
OU. Oklahoma. And
that was in year 1.
And they missed
this year
the playoffs.
It was Florida State, and who they lose to in their?
They lost to Florida State, Georgia, obviously in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, but they had one loss. They had 10-2 during the season.
Nick is going to pull up the graph.
They lost to Oklahoma.
OU twice. Yeah, they've lost to OU both years. So OU and it was just OU and Florida State, right? And then Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia in the playoffs.
So
and
then they went to the playoffs and they beat Oklahoma on the road, and then got destroyed by Indiana. So that's a 4-loss season for them. I know it's different than going 8-4, but they lost 4 games and they lost 3 games. That's 7 games in 2 years for Alabama. That's not you're the number 2 coach in the SEC level to me for Kalen DeBoer. Even though they went to a playoff, they got destroyed by Georgia in the SEC title game. They got destroyed by Indiana. That's not great coaching. I don't care. And part of coaching means maintaining your roster, and it has continued to deteriorate under Kalen DeBoer. I understand the initial when Nick Saban abruptly retires. That's what makes taking that job so difficult to be the guy that follows up Saban, but how can you resist it, right?
Yeah.
But that roster continues to deteriorate. He's lost 7 games in 2 years. I would absolutely not have him at number 2 because of what
Who would you put at number 2 then? Is it Kiffin or is it Sark?
Or is it Elko?
Yeah.
And I just with Elko, it's a hard one to do because it's the 2 years at Duke, and that's hard to like measure against the SEC. And then he comes here and he had one like the first year is like that's really good for a first year in this league, and then he had a great year.
But both years have exceeded expectations of the year
significantly. Well, I don't know if record-wise people had A&M going a whole lot worse than 8-4 in year one, but you have to look at historically what first-year coaches.
Yeah,
it's not what people thought; it's what first-year coaches in this league have done. And he exceeded everybody at that was in that league of 16 coaches, except for Brian Kelly and DeBoer, who are both 1 game ahead of him in year one. So it was like the third best season out of the 16 for their first year at their program. But it's just not enough resume, and that's what makes this ranking hard. Because I think I would have him above DeBoer, but I wouldn't because of DeBoer took Washington to the national title game. So are we doing resume or are we doing today? If we're doing today,
SEC resume. How about that? Just make it SEC resume.
Okay, then I'd put Elko ahead. I think he's done a better job at Texas A&M than DeBoer's done at Alabama. Well, I think without question. And if you look where their arrows are trending, I think that's a no-brainer. It doesn't mean DeBoer can't get Bama into the playoffs and win in Tuscaloosa against A&M this year. It's not that different. But I would do that. I think if you're doing that, then I would put Sark at number 2.
Yeah.
He's been to, because if you're going career resume, it actually hurts him what he's done away from Texas as a head coach.
But what he's done the last 3 years.
But once he got it right at Texas, and there is, and we constantly can argue about that, he did get off to a crappy start. He did, in my opinion, get bailed out by NIL because it was not trending well for him.
And also, I think the ability to recruit SEC in the Big 12
for 2 years
changes
for 2 full
the trajectory.
Years, but I think NIL really bailed him out, as it would any coach at Texas or A&M. It just so happened that he was slightly trending upward. There was not this incredibly optimistic outlook, and then you could start paying players. Well, don't take offense to this if you're a Longhorn listening, because A&M's been a big beneficiary too. Like Aggies and Longhorns have been bigger beneficiaries than Alabama, who some would say were doing it better than anybody before NIL. But I don't think Sark gets over the hump without it. Now look, Mike Elko is a tremendous beneficiary here right now, and he's doing the most with it. OU's trying to play catch up in Norman for Venables, et cetera, et cetera. But 2 playoff berths in a row, 2 Final Fours, because one was a 14 playoff. Their down year last year, they were right on the cusp of a playoff in their preseason top 5 this year. I'd put him at 2, but with the big, got to prove it this year because they're loaded for bear, and you better make a run at this thing. I think 3, I would go Elko. 4, I would go Kiffin. I know Kiffin's like this brilliant offensive coach, but there's a lot about him that I don't want to put him up there for. And I don't mean off field. I just mean as far as my head coach ranking.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I don't think he won a truly big game until like this year when he beat Georgia. And then, or no, last year when he beat Georgia. But even that year, they had spent all this money to go all in, and they went 9-3 and missed the playoff. And then I would go DeBoer, because I think DeBoer, if you're going just what they've done in the SEC, he has a big fat prove it tag on his neck.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with the final segment here on TexAgs Live.
Back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Final segment of the program will probably go long. So if you're listening and you want to keep it going, become a premium subscriber, go to texags.com. You can watch the show from there or listen to it from there. If you're listening to The Zone, just keep listening to Louie. And, of course, on KBTX, I'm sure there's probably a court show. All right, Billy, let's talk about who we're going to be talking about on Monday. Who's somebody you think, all right, I think we could be talking about X player, Y player?
Spring game, huh?
By the way, it is starting early, 11 a.m.
So I think what you go off of on that are, I think you go off of skill guys and pass rushers. Last year it was Marco Jones. I think he had 4-6 sacks. To me, I don't know. I would say the receivers I'll start with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Aaron Gregory. I know now, again, this is something like these people that like monitor what we say. And
you said this guy.
And they were hyping this and they're hyping. I have no problem hyping Aaron Gregory as you watch him. He does that every single day. I told you guys this before camp started. I told you how his offseason was going. I told you about him when he signed that he should have been a 5-star. Told you about how excited they were within the building about keeping his commitment and signing him and getting him here and what he's going to be. He's a special, special talent. You see it every day in practice, so I'd expect you'll see it in the spring game at Kyle Field. And he's mentally built for it. Mario Craver has had a sensational spring. He looks like Notre Dame Mario Craver, deep ball against Florida Mario Craver, deep ball against Miami Mario Craver. Get it to him short, let him make people miss. He's impossible to tackle, Mario Craver. He's been sensational. I think you'll see some like kind of wow catches from Isaiah Horton as well. So like the receiver position, running back wise, what I need to do today is check on, KJ Edwards returned to practice about a week ago, so he had missed. He's a guy. Look, is Morrow on the injured list?
I believe he's not on.
Because he had a really good scrimmage. I don't know this, but he had a really good scrimmage last week at Kyle Field. He was kind of one of the offensive stars, and looked like, okay, that's the Morrow like that we're hoping that he's going to be. And he had kind of built up to that. He's really turned the corner in terms of like his practice production. He's looked really good. I would say him. My sleeper might be Tiger Ryden.
He's not playing.
He's not playing. Tiger Ryden, to me, is a guy we don't mention enough. Tiger has come out and had quietly a strong spring ball. Because last year he got really unfortunate to get into the car accident that kept him out for pretty much really the kind of forced a red shirt. He was impressive last year in the spring, and he's been really impressive again in the spring. He's a guy that I say we don't have that big back. Who's going to be that bigger back? Now, he's not a giant back, but he's a bigger guy, and he runs with like a really nice forward lean and like finishes runs, and I think is a really good between the tackles guy. He's just someone to file away that if you're not expecting it, because there's Ruben Owens, because there's Morrow, and because there's so much excitement over the two true freshmen.